Look down, you're talking to your highness. Can't see me, I'm the reason for your blindness.
Alright, so because the pattern that I used was a tight front pattern, it would come like this, and then it would be tight here. So any excess would have been like smushed into the gathers when you tie it there. But because now this is going to be straight from here all the way down, it's going to come like that and that, and it's going to have this excess sticking out here, right? So we're going to have to add a dart, but we can't do it yet because, yeah, I guess you can do it. But no, you'll try it on afterwards, and then you'll add a dart to the two pieces afterwards, so it comes like that. You know what I mean? Because I gained weight since making that last one, I'm going to have to add like an inch or a half inch on the bottom. So I think I'll add an inch because it needs to cover my boobs. Let me see. I need to add an inch, and then I may add like half of an inch or a quarter of an inch onto the side seams.
Working with the front of the pattern, we are going to trace the side seam, the armhole, the shoulder point, and the bottom of it. When we get to the neck point, we're just going to draw a line from the neck point straight down to the center front, which is the center of the front of the shirt. If you see me adding stuff to the side seam and the hem, it's because I gained weight since making this last pattern, so I have to make it to suit me. I'll go in half inch from the center front. No, I'll just go to the center front, because by the time my boobs go over it, and then this, we're gonna have to add a dart on here anyways, it's gonna come in, right? So we're just gonna go from here to the center front like that, then add our seam allowance. And then here, we add our grain line. There's nothing that's going to be different about the back of the pattern. It's pretty much just going to be the same, except for me, I have to add the little extra bits at the bottom and the side seam, as I said before. But it's just going to be the same, just trace everything out, and nothing else is going to be adjusted or added. The original pattern had a facing, and we are adding the same facing to it. The facing is about 1 1/4 inches away from the neckline. Now I'm just transferring the facing outline onto a fresh piece of paper using my tracing wheel. Now I'm drafting the neck facing for the front, so it's pretty much just one, as I said before, 1 1/4 away from the seam. Just draw that line straight down and then transfer it to a fresh piece of paper. front and back pieces are done, we're going to work with the sleeve. Now I measured from my shoulder point to my elbow, and then I subtracted that by an inch. So that would determine the length of the sleeve. So if you use a short sleeve, all you have to do is lengthen it, but my sleeve is long, so I'm going to shorten it. Mine was about 11 inches, and I just traced the outline and I made sure I drew the line that represents the center of the sleeve. I divided the measurement of the bottom of the sleeve by 6. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 6, and then I drew lines going straight up. I labeled each section and then I cut along those lines that we just drew. I drew a vertical line straight up, and then I drew a horizontal line going across that vertical line. And from the center line, I went out an inch, and I drew a line going straight up on either side. And then I taped 3 to that line and then 4 to the other side. When that was done, I went out an inch from number 4 and an inch from number 3, drew a line straight up, and then I added 2 and I added 5. Then I added an inch out from 5 and an inch out from 2, and I added 1 and then I added 6. If you want your sleeves puffier, you add more than an inch, of course. At the top, I went up 2 inches and I literally just curved it downwards to 6 and to 1. I drafted the cuff by measuring the circumference of the area of my arm above my elbow, and then I just used the measurements you see here. Okay, so for this part, don't mind what I'm doing at the bottom here, because initially I had done the front as like a whole like front piece and then the back as a back piece. But I'm going to do half of a front and then half of the back. So just focus on the measurements that I have up there. So what you do is you measure the circumference of your under bust, and then you divide it by 1/4, and that's the top line. Then you measure the circumference of your waist and divide it by 1/4, and that's your bottom line. And the length of it is going to be the measurement from your under bust to your waist. So mine is 5 inches. So, you're right. So it's pretty much as in the picture. And then for the outer lines, you just connect it. So the diagonal line is just a connection from the under bust measurement to the waist measurement. So as you can see here, this is how the entire front piece would have looked if I don't cut it in half in the center part there. So that center part is the center front line. So if you fold that under and you put center front fold, that means you will have to cut it on the pattern on the fold, if that makes any sense.
it's going to have a zipper, so you can't do it on the fold. So I drew a 3/8 of an inch line, so 3/8 of an inch seam allowance here, and now I have to tape this onto that and cut it out. Because it is a dress, you have to add the zipper at the back. So let's cut this out. So I'm right here, I'm just tracing out the front to make a back piece. And you know what I realized? I could have just literally cut the front in half and added 3/8 of an inch to it to make the back piece, but I wouldn't have wanted all that writing and stuff on it. So I drew it onto a new fresh sheet and I added 3/8 of an inch to the center back because that will allow for the seam allowance for the zipper. Okay, so now we'll be working with the skirt. Initially, boys, don't start crying now, I'm doing my work. Initially, I had it as 18 inches, but I ended up cutting it to 15 inches and then hemming an inch, right? So I drew a straight line, which was 18 inches, and then I drew a straight line at the top because I didn't know what I was doing yet. Alright, so you want some folds up in this thing. So hips are usually 7 inches from your waist. So this is the waist, this is hips at 7 inches. So we have to make sure that no matter what we do, it's not shorter than this. Right? 2 inches. Hefty! Oh my gosh! Alright, so this skirt took me like over 45 minutes to figure out because I didn't know what I was doing. You know, as usual, I don't even know what I'm doing. So I just, based on the line, I just started to do some folds. And because my waist is so small, I was only able to do two pleats. I didn't really want tiny pleats, I wanted big gunky pleats. So what I'm doing there with the front waistband pattern is I'm matching it up to the top of the skirt so we know that it fits the waistband exactly. Right? Okay. So 7 inches down from your waist is your hips. Right here you see it's about 9 inches for me. 9 times 4 is 36, yeah? 36. No, this skirt is not going to be able to fit over my hips. It's going to have to be at least 11 inches going from the center front here. So I had to do all those folding and everything. I had to do that all over again. So I marked it, which made no sense because now I have to sit down and redo the folds. And I ended up doing it. I was really annoyed at this point, and the folds weren't really even or anything, but I really couldn't care less afterwards. I just wanted to be done. So you see how wonky this one is? Oh my gosh. It's the second one, the middle one right there, that one could have been done better. You know, it could have been eased in a little bit at the top, but whatever. So it still came out cute. So now I believe I'm finished at this point, and I just did seam allowance over everything. I was really just very tired. I don't know, we leave it as this now. It looks weird. Something's bothering me about this. Something's bothering me about this. Alright. So we're not going to stick it out like that. This is what we're going to do. So this is, so if you come here and you bring it straight down, that's about 15 inches, right? So then we're just going to keep that straight. So pretty much at this side seam corner, I'm just going out, what am I doing? I'm curving up 15 inches. So wherever 15 inches is, I'm doing it, and it's going to create a curve up at the bottom hem. The straight thing, I don't think that would have worked. So I think if it was straight, it would come down like a V at the bottom and it would look weird.
Now here at the top, it's going straight again.
You do that, and you open it. You should be able to see the markings, so this is how it's going to look when you open it.
No. So what you can do is you can go down, I would say, half of an inch at the center front. Keep it straight for a little bit, for like probably 3 inches, and then curve it upwards to the side seam. Nobody's waist goes straight across. Alright? Just remember that. It's like a rule in pattern drafting. You need curves. You need curves because your body is not straight.
So you draw arrows. So just make sure you did it right. There, there. Right? Here. There. Alright, so we should have our skirt, which will be front and back. Our waistband, which should be front and back. The sleeve cuff, the sleeve, the facing for the neck, front and back, and the front and back. So it's overall, I think it's 10 pieces we should have. And it's time to cut out on our fabric.